Welcome to Spider-Verse Minute, the tri-weekly podcast where we watch Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse 1 minute at a time. I'm Caroline Slater.
And I'm her brother Sean.
And today we are discussing Minute 38. It starts with Peter B. Parker eating a slice of pizza in bed, and ends a minute later finding out he's dead.
I like how that rhymed.
Yeah, I just realized that rhymed. That was not intentional. It just kind of happened.
What did you end up naming this minute?
Really weird thing happens.
Yeah, really weird thing does happen.
I love how he's like, weird things happen to me all the time, but this was really weird.
Yeah, well, one of the weird things that doesn't happen to him, but that is just there, that I picked up on.
Mm-hmm.
Why does he need a bike?
I mean, I doubt he has a car.
But he's Spider-Man. He can just web swing everywhere.
True.
I feel like he would just swing to wherever he's going.
Maybe he gets tired of swinging. He just wants to go on a nice bike ride.
Okay. Sure. I highly doubt he gets tired of swinging.
I don't know. Your arms get tired after a while.
Yeah, his legs will get tired instead now.
Yeah, you know. You
gotta balance it.
You gotta balance it out.
Because maybe he uses it for exercise. Obviously, because he's so ripped.
Clearly.
His arms are still, even though he's got a flabby tummy, his arms are still pretty ripped.
Oh yeah, he's gotta be swinging around that tummy.
Very true.
So, I want to talk about the portal opening really quick. I don't know why it reminded me of this exactly, but when it first started opening, I couldn't help but think of, boiling water.
Yeah, it does, the way the dots, bubble out, it does, it is very reminiscent of, water boiling or bubbling up.
Mm.
Bubbles in water.
Yeah, it was really fun. And then it, turns into a tornado as it opens more to steal Peter.
I was thinking more like a drain, to go with your water metaphor, it's just a drain but going in the wrong direction. Going up instead of down. That's what I mean by wrong direction, is it's
that would make more sense. Yeah, a drain makes a lot more sense than my tornado metaphor.
I really like the colors combination that's used for the portal. I think I realized while watching this, black, pink, and light blue is probably some of my one of my favorite color combinations.
It's
color
a
patterns.
Great color combination.
Yeah.
Maybe that's why I like Spider-Gwen's costume so much.
Yeah. Yes.
She got that white in there. She got that white in there too.
I also it's really cool how it's giving off so much light that the whole room just changes colors, and they do a good job of bathing the room in the light.
It's very cool, and I love the way they do him levitating and getting sucked in and trying to bring the pizza with him.
Yeah. And the one thing that was neat is the pizza does its glitchy bit, and then his head also glitches, and as it's glitching, we get a flash of the same scene when Peter Parker got his head shoved into the portal. Or not portal, into the beam.
Yeah.
And I think I brought it up then that I was it looks like this specific minute then, but I wasn't 100% sure at the time, and I think this pretty much confirms that, at least for Peter B. It's we see those same flashes, or that flash, the flash of him then is supposed to be this flash now. Yeah,
there are parallels to it, and it is very cool.
Yeah. And we get the same head flash bit.
Yeah.
With just the two Peters.
I also love that we then get a pretty long look into the Spider-Verse, I guess you would call it.
Yeah.
This in-between portal.
Right before we move on to what the in-between place looks like, I just want to touch on some last things in his room. And it's on his wall. I like how he's got the makings of a crazy conspiracy theory wall. Um, it's just you can see he's got some like the map and then some stuff pinned to the wall. And on it you see Tombstone and Kingpin and a couple other people that are a bit tricky to make out. But I'm kind of curious what his like big villain that he's treated. What story he's in right now that he got sucked out of.
He's trying to figure out what the best pizza places are, actually.
Yeah. He's really sad when he finds out that one of them is just a criminal front. He's like, I can't go here anymore. I have to shut them down.
Okay, so this one's criminal front, and this one's also a criminal front. So they're out of the question. Not even going to try their pizza, just going to shut them down.
And then the last thing was the whole gag with the pizza. Originally, they were doing it with a burrito instead. And then
that's messy.
Yeah, and I think the pizza works a lot better because A, he's in New York. Obviously, it's got to be pizza, and B, pizza's like got that more distinctive shape to it, and so it plays a bit better. And like you can have like a a droopy pizza. It's kind of like, I guess you could do a droopy burrito, or at least a burrito where things are falling out of it. But I think the pizza's easier to show those.
Yeah, because like you can still have a fresh pizza and it still droop a bit.
Yeah.
So like it makes more sense too. Where when you get like a droopy burrito, it's like, oh, that's an old burrito.
Yeah. Unless like if the top was a bit like if it's falling apart, like
okay, that's true.
Partly eating it.
I personally enjoy that they used a pizza because then when it hit the ceiling, it got stuck there for a second and then fell.
Yeah.
We're like, it wouldn't really make sense if a burrito did that.
But that was all I had on his room.
I just want to talk about like going into. I'm just gonna deem it the Spider-Verse. Well, there's two things. One, I like how we see him slipping on his suit.
Yeah.
Which it brings me much amusement. There was a point where I thought, I'm like, wait, does he not have his shoes on? But then we see him lose his shoes later, so I wasn't sure.
Yeah, he has them on, flying through here.
Yeah, it was a very distant shot in my defense, so it looked like he didn't like to see. What? Wait, hold on, what's happening here?
Yeah.
The other thing I noticed that there are planets here. I just thought it was a cool visual overall, but I noticed that and I'm like, wait, there are planets in this thing?
They based it off of a painting done by one of the production designers.
Cool.
Justin Thompson, who, I guess did a original concept art for this, and then they just based it off of that. And then he flies into the hole on the other side and gets exploded out.
I don't know if flies is the right word.
I mean, it's not graceful, but I he goes through.
I would say more catapulted.
Yeah.
Maybe crashing.
Yeah, and then as he's catapulted into the ground, he loses both of his boots. Clearly, they were not tied on tight enough, or looped in tight enough, or.
Well, okay. But... So I noticed this here, and I'm just realizing this now. So does that mean his suit is not a onesie?
No, his is not a onesie.
So the Peter Parker of Miles' universe wore a onesie, so he didn't lose the shoes.
Yes.
Peter B. Parker's is not. He should get some tips from there and get a onesie.
I mean, he also has been doing this longer than the other ones, so maybe it's better to not have a onesie, and just in this one rare instance, he gets his shoes knocked off of him.
I don't know.
Yeah, I do like the way he pinballs around off of the off of everything though.
It is funny, and we see him flying to Times Square, and we get some parody/references. Do you want to start with these?
Yeah, so we enter Times Square again, and we get even more parodies and just references to the real world. The first one we get is for the Golden Boy, Stephen Curry, who in the real world, Stephen Curry is a basketball player for the Golden State Warriors. In Miles's world, he is a golfer. And I like how they still call him the Golden Boy, and he plays for the Golden State Warriors. It was, nice little call there. And we have a Red X FedEx parody, and it takes place in Flagler, Florida, but there's a county in Florida called Flagler, and there's a Flagler Beach town, but I didn't find a town specifically called Flagger, so I don't know if they just refer to themselves as Flagger or Flagger Beach, but that's also a real-ish place.
In that same shot, there is a Starbucks parody, which I'm going to mispronounce. Is it like Il General or something?
I think it's a hard G. Giornale. I think it's a double parody because
Okay.
Il Giornale is an Italian newspaper, and it's also like Giornale translates to newspaper. And so I think it might also just be a like newspaper parody as well.
Well, I can tell you, I that corner of where this shot is, I've been on, and there is a Starbucks there.
Yeah, no, I'm not saying
So
it's not a Starbucks parody.
No.
I'm saying
I'm just
it's
saying.
a double
I find
parody.
it. Yeah, I'm just saying. It's also kind of funny that like they put a Starbucks where they're like, even if it's not the same corner, it looks like a very similar, like almost the exact corner where the Starbucks in Times Square is. One of them.
Yeah.
So it's I find that extra funny to me.
And then above the Stephen Curry, there is a sign for Beefsteak Charlie's, which was a really famous, popular shop in Times Square that closed in 2009.
Mm-hmm.
And so, obviously, in Miles's world, it stayed open.
Yeah. So the next one, we've actually seen this one before, but only part of it. And now we see the full thing, and I can confirm that we talked in an earlier minute about Baby Shower. Well, it is confirmed. It is a parody of Bridesmaids. The posters are practically identical.
Yeah, and below the Baby Shower poster, we have a EA Games or EA Sports logo. It's not clear if it is EA Sports what sport they're playing. It looked like it might be like beach volleyball.
I couldn't get a clear look.
But it doesn't, or it's not a pose that you would associate with volleyball, so I don't know what it would be.
Mm-hmm. The other ad I noticed that I never noticed before, but it really made me laugh, was the toy Tomato Head.
Yeah, the Mr. Tomato Head, Mr. Potato Head toy parody.
I thought that was a fun one. And around that same part, there is a advertisement for a Seth Rogen special called Hold Your Horses. I'm like, yeah. I want to see that. I don't know if that's a parody for a specific movie of his or not, but I want to see it.
Yeah. Riding high in the saddle is the tagline.
It looks like it would be a Netflix special, and I like it.
Yeah. And then Peter runs into the Coca-Soda ad we see again, as well as we also see the Hi Hello and From Dusk Till Dawn, both much clearer this time. Mm-hmm. Another new poster we see is Blake Griffin playing for the New York Red Sox. So two things here that are different. One, Blake Griffin plays for the Detroit Pistons in basketball. Here he's a baseball player. And New York's team is the Red Sox. So either the team name is just changed, or the Red Sox moved to New York instead of Boston.
When Spider-Man is standing up, we get, after he hits the Coca-Cola ad that we have seen before, when he's standing up, you get a shot of a advertisement for Peekaboo. Which I think, it's parody of Snapchat, and I think we should change Snapchat to Peekaboo.
Yeah, it's a good...
starting a petition. Who's going to sign it with me?
Another tech company parody that you get is also Backrub, and that's a parody of Google. Their original algorithm was called Backrub. It's also done in the same, like, alternating colors that Google's logo is done in.
That just sounds weird.
As we pan around, we get a poster for Clone College, which was the original pitch of Clone High, which Lord and Miller created.
And one of the things I noticed in the pan around, which might be my personal favorite, was Red Man Group.
Yeah, when I finally saw this one, I like they really like red in this city. You have the Red Man group, you have the Red Sox, the um I think the Mr. Tomato,
Mr.
Mr.
Tomato is
Tomato
red.
Head is red. Yeah. Um what's with all the red?
There's a lot of just
Oh yeah, Red X.
yeah. There's just a lot of red posters. They like red. It's because we're the Big Apple, Sean.
Oh yeah,
Apples are red.
that would actually make a little bit of sense. If they were going with that.
Just to be clear, I don't feel like I have to specify this, but I feel like I should, just in case. Red Man Group is a parody of Blue Man Group,
Oh yeah.
which I do find it amusing that they choose just the exact opposite color.
Yeah. And the last two references, parodies that I want to touch on is when it cuts to looking in front of Spider-Man's face, we see a poster for the Mary Janes, which in Spider-Gwen's universe is what the band she's in is called because it's headed by Mary Jane. And Gwen's the drummer for that, so they pulled that over. One thing that would be kind of neat for them to do with the Mary Janes in the comics, like, and in real life, is if they released like either like an EP or an LP of like music that they do. They did this, or DC did this with the last Black Canary run they did. Is they released, I think, a total of 6 songs across 2 EPs that was like sung by the in-universe band, the in-universe Black Canary band. And so it'd be neat if they did something like that with the Mary Janes.
That'd be
just
really
to tie
cool.
it in. Yeah, I like, sometimes those like cross-media sort of things are a little weird, and not always like, they a lot of times they feel like cash grabs, of just like, oh yeah, we're gonna make this game that we want you to play and spend lots of money on. But like I think they did the Black Canary ones really well, where it's just like, oh yeah, here's an EP, you can, I think, like, buy it for $1 or $3 on Bandcamp or something like that. So if they did something like that with the Mary Janes, where it's just like, oh yeah, here's a fun thing we did, have at it, that would be neat.
That would be very fun. I'd listen to it.
Yeah. And then the last poster is just you see it a bit earlier in the minute as well, and then here you get it a second time for Kitten Heels, which is a parody, at least a title parody of Kinky Boots, the Broadway musical.
The reason Sean says it's a title parody is because I'm not totally convinced it's a complete parody of Kinky Boots.
Yeah. And then I just wanted to touch on the ticker of when he's like, oh, I found out I'm dead.
I'm sorry. I just remembered how he delivered that line, and it makes me laugh. Also, I'm dead. Like, it was very, like, almost afterthought of this universe.
Yeah, on the ticker, it's got, I think, 2 of the best headlines, and it's Bitcoin hits new high, Bitcoin hits new low. Just like one after the other. It's like, oh, okay, then that was fast. When the movie came out, it was around the release when the prices were like skyrocketing and then falling. It was a very speculative. The prices were very speculative at that point.
That's a funny gag, though.
Yeah. And then the third one that you see is just earthquake bags sold out.
What?
Like, bags to, like, disaster relief bags.
Oh, okay.
Like
I've only
bags.
ever heard them as, like, disaster relief bags or, like, disaster
yeah.
relief kits. I've never heard them referred to as earthquake bags, and that just was a weird image in my head.
Yeah. A bag full of earthquakes.
This is what you use to cover yourself to protect yourself from the earthquake, or if you like to catch some of the earthquake yourself.
Yeah.
Do you have any other notes for this minute?
No, that's all I have.
Do you have an alternative scene?
Yes, I do.
Will you grace us with that knowledge?
The alt scene for this, it's a shorter one, and it just takes, it's a different way of him entering this universe. And so he, instead of like being thrown out of the explosion, the portal just like a new portal in this earth just kind of opens up and dumps him into some food thing. Like it's not exactly clear because it's black and like the alternate scenes aren't like completely rendered. They're all just like black and white sketches still. Mm-hmm. It looked like it was like white powder of some sort or something, but like it was a big vat, so it might have been ice cream, it might have been something else, it could have been like Jello. I don't really know.
I just pictured him face planting into someone's like ice cream date.
Oh yeah, no, it's like just a big vat of stuff.
Oh, like they make when they're making it.
Yeah, kind of.
Okay.
And so he like stands up, and like someone's like, "Oh my!" and someone else, like a little kid, laughs at him, and then it like pans down, and you just see like the bottom half of his suit's been destroyed. And so he's just standing there butt naked. And so he's like, "Oh no!" and he like grabs something else, and he like stumbles out and is asking like, what time is it? What date is it? What year is it? Where am I? And then he gets arrested, and it cuts to him in the back of a police car, and the
Please tell me it's Miles' dad who's arrested him.
I don't think so.
Dang.
But yeah, no, it's not him. And then the cop, she's like, "Hey, this is a tasteless bit." His response is, "You'll know when it's a bit. My bits are funny." And she replies, "That's why we covered them up." And two cops laugh and like fist bump each other. And then the other cop, he says something about since Peter just died, and he's like, "Wait, what?" And then like he gets this really big like, "Oh, can you like crack the window? It's getting a bit hot in here." And the cop's just like, "Yeah, sure, whatever, to get you to shut up." And so he cracks the window, and he just like swings out of it, and he's like, "You ever feel like our relationship is hitting a wall?" And then that's when he hits the Coca soda wall, and it's back to the original stuff.
I like what they did in the movie better.
Yeah.
It's a funny bit. I like what they did in the movie better. I think it's funnier to me.
Yeah. It does also like it was a little jarring because he goes from not wearing any pants to having his like the pants only broken at the knees again.
Yeah.
And so yeah.
I think it's more chaotic the way they do it in the movie, which I kind of like.
With him bouncing around and everything.
It's just like this is the kind of chaos that needs to happen. I don't really have much else to add to that alternative scene. I like what they did in the movie better.
Sounds good. Then thank you for joining us today. Join us on Friday as we watch Minute 39.
See you next time.
Bye.